So recently, Inc.com has one of their top featured articles is the 3 questions you should really make sure to ask and work into a job interview that will really reveal everything about this potential candidate that you may want to know or may even not want to know. So it's clearly going to be very revealing if you ask somebody, how did you find out about this job opportunity? Whether or not this person sits there and tells you, I found about it online, or a friend told me about it, or I've always been looking for a job at this company, is going to tell you a little bit about their character traits. So if they say they've seen this job online, you're immediately drawing some sort of connection to their time spent job hunting at home on their computer. You might draw some conclusions from that. If they say they heard about it from a friend, well, who knows, you might be looking at them as a slightly less motivated person. If they say that this is a company that they've always wanted to be a part of and they've just been waiting for an opening and just always looking to see what's going to happen, then that tells you you've got a candidate sitting across from you that really wants to be there, really wants to be seizing the opportunity that you may have for them at that company. Most people, when they're starting new jobs, have obviously left another job. So if you ask this person, what was it you liked about that job when you started, and why did you seek that job out when you started, is going to give you a little bit of insight into what they're looking for and how they're approaching this new opportunity. You know, like in relationships, you may start off madly in love and you can't keep your hands off each other and you're super excited at the beginning, and then a year later it kind of fizzles out. But what were you looking for at the beginning? You know, what were the things that attracted you initially to that person, or in this case, that job? And is that long-term thinking? Was it just, this job was a great job because it was close to my apartment? Or was it, this job is a great job because I've always wanted to work in that field and that job was exactly the right one I was looking for? That tells you a lot about how a person looks at their career, their profession, how far they want to grow, and are they passionate about what they're doing, or are they passionate about job security? So this is kind of a good segue into the third question, which is, why did they leave the job that they were last at? And, you know, like I mentioned before, I think a lot of people have left jobs because they found it, you know, not very satisfying. They weren't making enough money. There was no room to grow within the company. But the majority of people have left because they say they found it was tough on them, it was too demanding, and it wasn't very rewarding for them. And that alone can tell you a lot about how they perceive of their job, especially if looking back, you know a little bit about the company or the background they came from. You can draw your own conclusions from that. But if the answer you're getting is simply they felt stale and they felt like they weren't moving ahead, that tells you something. If they tell you that they just didn't feel like they were appreciated, that tells a little bit about their character. Overarchingly, when you're interviewing someone, there's a lot of little signals you can pick up on, but these 3 questions kind of really suss out all those little things. And I think what's very important as an interviewer is to make sure when you're looking for someone to fill a position that you're looking for someone that is the square peg that fits in the square hole. Not just somebody that's looking for that job and looking for a way to have that continued source of income that really isn't passionate about what they do. And I think that you're going to know that person when they sit across from you, and you don't need to interview them 3 times over before you have a real gut instinct about whether or not they're the right fit for you.